Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are diving into a stack of sources that, well, they detail one of the most remarkable careers in sports history.
We're exploring the life of Lionel Messi.
A man who now holds a record 8 Ballon d'Or awards and, maybe most importantly, finally won that 2022 World Cup.
And our mission today is to look far beyond just the trophy cabinet. We're unpacking the immense obstacles he overcame, the tactical revolutions he personally engineered.
And that unique, almost crushing national burden of expectation he carried for, what, 2 decades?
Exactly. We want to understand what it truly took for him to become this global phenomenon that we now call the Jew-8.
And you know, what's immediately striking is how the tone for a life of challenge was set right from the very start. He was born June 24th, 1987, in Rosario, Argentina.
Right, and we read that his birth coincided with a truly turbulent moment in Argentine history. We're talking political crises, military upheaval, just escalating national tension.
So it creates this fascinating initial contrast.
It really does. You have this quiet, diminutive kid born into this football-mad, very tight-knit family. His father managed a steel factory.
But he enters the world during this massive period of national stress.
Yeah. High expectations, instability, and this real need for a hero were already baked into the environment he was born into.
Okay, so let's unpack that childhood, because he was a prodigy from the start. He began playing for a local club, Gran Goli, coached by his own father.
And the family was so supportive. But you have to talk about Celia, his grandmother.
She was the key, wasn't she?
She was the one. Truly influential, taking him to practice, pushing him, always cheering him on. It's why after every single goal he scores, you see him point up to the sky.
That's a homage to her memory.
Every single time.
He quickly moved to Newell's Old Boys at age 6. The talent was just undeniable. The ball was basically glued to his foot.
And his youth team was so dominant, they were nicknamed the Machine of '87.
I love that. And he scored, conservatively, something like 500 goals in 6 years.
Just unbelievable numbers. But this extraordinary beginning, it very quickly ran into an insurmountable wall.
And that wall was his health.
It was. Around age 10 or 11, the family learned he had growth hormone deficiency, or GHD. Basically, his body wasn't producing the hormones he needed to grow normally.
The solution sounds simple. Daily hormone injections for several years, but the financial strain was just crushing.
We're talking about approximately $900 a month.
Which, for a working-class family in Argentina at that time, was simply prohibitive.
It was. And this is where the dream almost died. Newell's couldn't sustain the cost.
And worse, the biggest clubs passed on him.
Yeah, we found that River Plate was completely dazzled after a 15-minute trial. They knew his talent was otherworldly.
What?
But when they were faced with footing that medical bill for several years, they refused. They just wouldn't take on the financial commitment. It wasn't about talent, it was about cost versus liability.
So, given that level of financial risk and the rejection from major clubs at home, what on earth did Barcelona see in that 13-year-old on that short trial? It feels like an incredible leap of faith.
It really speaks to the absolute, undeniable genius they witnessed. Messi and his father traveled to Spain in 2000.
And the club director, Carlos Rexach.
He was so blown away by what he saw that, well, the legend is he wrote the initial contract on a paper napkin.
Just to lock him down.
On December 14, 2000. Desperate to secure him before he left. And Barcelona made the commitment that changed everything. They would cover the entire cost of his GHD treatment.
That moment, the napkin contract, is rightly historic. But the emotional cost of that move was severe. His mother and siblings, they eventually had to return to Argentina.
Yeah, they couldn't settle, leaving him and his father alone in a new country.
So it was incredibly isolating.
He talks about being shy, quiet, and small. Teammates at the La Masia Youth Academy, they initially thought he was mute because he barely spoke. Yeah, and there's an anecdote that he was often mocked and even bullied by older boys for his size, who even stole his bicycle. He was physically fragile and emotionally so vulnerable.
It's a remarkable juxtaposition. The club shows this immense faith, yet he had to endure deep personal sacrifice just to fulfill it.
But what's fascinating is how that struggle actually defined his physical play. I mean, despite the treatment, he only grew to about 5'7".
Right.
But that GHD challenge became his superpower. His low center of gravity, combined with his short, strong legs, it gave him exceptional balance and agility.
And that's where he got the nickname.
La Pulga Atomica, the atomic flea.
The atomic flea, I love it.
And that physical sturdiness is often cited as the reason he almost never needed to dive to draw fouls. He could just withstand the contact.
It's an incredible origin story that feeds directly into his legendary play. Okay, let's pivot to part two. How he dominated Europe and really engineered a tactical revolution at Barcelona.
His progression through the ranks was swift. He made his senior debut, and early on, he had the perfect mentor in Ronaldinho, who was already a global superstar.
Yeah, a true legend.
And Ronaldinho provided the assist for Messi's first senior goal, celebrated him like a younger brother, genuinely happy to, see the spotlight.
But the true foundational change happened when Pep Guardiola arrived in 2008.
Oh, absolutely. Messi was given the famous number 10 shirt, and Guardiola immediately made him the tactical focal point of the team. And this is where we see the concept of the false nine truly born.
Right, so explain that. It's an easy idea to grasp, but it was devastating to execute.
It is. Historically, the number 9 is the center forward, the highest player on the pitch. Messi was put in that position, but was instructed to start dropping deep into the midfield when Barcelona had possession.
He was falsely occupying that number 9 space.
Exactly. So if you are the opposing team's central defender, you have a nightmare scenario on your hands.
Do I follow him or do I stay put?
Precisely. You follow Messi deep into the midfield, and you leave a massive, gaping hole in the center of your defense for teammates like Xavi or Iniesta to exploit.
Or you hold your line and you let one of history's greatest creative minds have all the time and space in the world on the ball.
In the most dangerous area of the pitch, Guardiola, he famously claimed that Messi was the only player that runs faster with the ball than he does without it.
And that era was just one of pure statistical dominance. This tactical shift led Barcelona to the first ever Spanish treble in 2009.
And later, the sextuple. They won all 6 major international and domestic titles available in a single calendar year.
An unprecedented feat.
The records he set during this specific period are they're staggering. 73 goals in a single European club season in 2011-12.
And 91 goals across all competitions in the 2012 calendar year.
Unbelievable. And he won 4 consecutive Ballon d'Or awards. That feat alone defined an entire era of football.
Later, the tactics changed again with the brief but spectacular MSN era when he played alongside Suarez and Neymar.
From 2014 to 2017. And while he nominally started on the right wing, he basically had total freedom to drift wherever he wanted.
And the output was frightening. That trio became the most devastating front three in Spanish history, once combining for 131 goals in a single season.
It was incredible. But once Neymar departed in 2017, the sources really point to the start of what became known as the Messi dependencia era.
Which sounds exactly like what it is, a total dependence on Messi. So, what happened? Why did Barcelona become so reliant on one man?
Well, the club's core was aging. The midfield legends, Xavi and Iniesta, were either leaving or slowing down, and the complex system of passing and high pressing that made Guardiola's team unstoppable. It started to break down under subsequent coaches.
So he didn't just have to score anymore. He had to build the entire attack, too.
Precisely. By the 2018-19 season, he wasn't just the false 9. He was simultaneously the team's best goal scorer, the best creator, and the best progressor of the ball.
Meaning he was the one taking the ball from midfield and carrying it forward himself.
Exactly. He delivered his most complete, heroic individual seasons during this time, essentially having to carry the entire attacking system on his back.
And this brings us squarely to part 3, the immense weight of Argentina. Because for all that club success, international glory was so elusive for so long.
The pressure cooker was immediate. From his debut in 2005, his international career was just defined by agonizing near misses.
He led Argentina to 3 consecutive major finals, the 2014 World Cup, the 2015 and 2016 Copa America finals.
And they lost all 3. The disappointment was just palpable.
And the national reaction was brutal. I mean, he was subjected to incredibly harsh public criticism.
He was, sometimes called a false Argentine, or even worse, pecho frio, which means cold chest.
The implication being that he played with less passion for the national team.
That he didn't have the heart. And that intense emotional burden, it reached a breaking point. It led to his temporary retirement from the national team in 2016. He couldn't take the pressure anymore.
But the public reaction to that retirement, it shows the love the country truly had for him. Despite all the criticism, a massive national campaign just exploded.
The hashtag No Te Vayas Leo, don't go Leo.
And even the Argentine president called him, eventually convincing him to reverse his decision just 2 months later.
And what changed after that was the team culture. This is so critical. A new, younger generation of players came in, players who grew up watching and admiring him.
So they stopped expecting him to carry them.
And instead, they focused on building a team structure explicitly to support Lionel.
And that visible shift transformed his leadership style. He became much more outspoken, transitioning from that shy player to an aggressive, passionate leader.
We saw it when he publicly accused the South American governing body, CONMEBOL, of corruption in 2019 and refused to take his medal.
And the fans, instead of criticizing him, they finally embraced this new, passionate persona.
And that unity finally paid off. The redemption began with the 2021 Copa America, ending Argentina's nearly three-decade trophy drought.
That release of pressure gave him the renewed force to lead Argentina to the 2022 World Cup title, scoring twice in the final, earning a World Cup record of 2 Golden Ball awards.
Just an incredible end to that story.
And the intensity of that final quest was perfectly encapsulated in that heated World Cup quarterfinal against the Netherlands, a match with a record 18 cards.
Oh, that game was wild.
And we have to highlight that moment in the tunnel after the game where Messi so uncharacteristically told a Dutch opponent to "Go away, you fool," or "Bobo."
It was an incredible moment because it was so rare for him, this soft-spoken player showing this unvarnished, passionate flash of aggression. It was immediately embraced by Argentinian fans.
It was the ultimate sign. He wasn't just a perfect football machine.
He was truly one of ours. That passionate competitiveness just removed any doubt about his commitment or heart.
And that solidified his legacy, which transitions perfectly into the financial context of his career's twilight. It's a journey that starts with $900 a month injections and ends with an absurd contract.
Absolutely. The documents show the 4-year contract he signed with Barcelona between 2017 and 2021 revealed a gross salary of over 138 million euros per year.
Which our sources confirm made him the highest paid athlete globally by an absurd margin.
Yeah, more than double the next highest.
But that immense financial complexity also led to legal trouble. In 2016, he and his father were convicted of tax fraud.
Right, evading about 4.1 million euros from sponsorship earnings between 2007 and 2009.
They received suspended prison sentences and significant fines.
And Messi's defense was basically that he trusted his father and his lawyers completely to handle all the complex financial structures.
What?
He pleaded ignorance, suggesting he was just focused on the pitch.
And then came the shocking Barcelona heartbreak of 2021. This story is so crucial because it wasn't about Messi demanding more money.
No, it wasn't. It was about the system completely collapsing around him.
He had actually verbally agreed to take a 50% pay cut.
The maximum allowed under Spanish law, yeah. But Barcelona's crippling debt and the drastic La Liga salary cap reductions made it legally impossible to register his new contract.
So a lot of people ask, why couldn't he just play for free? Wouldn't that solve the problem?
And this is where financial fair play rules get so complicated. Even if he played for €0 in salary, Spanish law dictates that any professional contract renewal generates compulsory accounting costs, severance, insurance, tax guarantees.
So even with a €0 salary, those other costs still existed.
Exactly. And because Barcelona's overall club debt was so astronomical, even those €0 costs would push them over the newly lowered La Liga salary cap. They were legally unable to register him.
Forcing that tearful departure to Paris Saint-Germain.
A tough, abrupt end to the greatest club career in history, which eventually led him to Inter Miami in the MLS.
And even in Miami, the winning continued. He led Inter Miami to the 2024 Supporters' Shield and the 2025 MLS Cup.
Taking consecutive MLS MVP awards in 2024 and 2025. I mean, the final tally is incredible. He has won every major club and international title possible.
And his luxury lifestyle reflects that success. He owns a Gulfstream G550 private jet,
valued around £12 million.
But my favorite detail is the human moment we found in the sources. The confirmation that he once bought his noisy neighbor's house in Spain.
Just to gain some peace and quiet? It's the ultimate flex, isn't it?
It really is. The estimated value of that quiet acquisition, made for about $2 million in 2009, is now around $7 million. A noisy problem solved with a massive real estate investment.
Incredible.
So we began this deep dive with the image of a small, fragile boy needing $900 a month just to grow, rejected by clubs based on cost. We end with the highest paid athlete in the world, finally victorious on every stage possible.
Having carried the emotional weight of an entire nation, it's a journey of genius and burden.
But before we go, let's look at that incredible, almost absurd versatility that was forced upon him in those late Barcelona years.
Right, because it relates to the future of the game.
Hmm.
The sources refer to Messi simultaneously, playing the role of number 9, number 10, number 11, number 7, number 6, number 5, number 4, all at once.
So, tactical universality, let's break that down for you. The 9, 10, 11, and 7 are all attacking roles, striker, playmaker, wingers. But the 4, 5, and 6 are deep defensive and central midfield roles.
Meaning he was required to fulfill almost every attacking and midfield duty simultaneously just to keep a world-class club competitive.
So what does this reliance on one singular, all-encompassing creative force say about the increasing specialization of modern football?
Does the future of the sport still require one individual genius to master every single position just to keep a top-tier club afloat?
It's something for you to think about, that complexity.
The game changes, but the burden remains. Thanks for diving deep with us.